Good Friday morning. Happy Friday. It is Friday, January 20th. I hope that you are feeling blessed. I hope that you are feeling blessed and grateful. I hope that you are in your favorite place to be. This morning, before I get to work, I wanted to just kind of show you a gift that one of my students gifted to me. And you may hear my awesome 2-year-old daughter in the background, but she gets up when mama gets up. It's just a natural reaction for her. But anyways, this gift is the exotic teas of the world. 80 bags of tea. Hey, baby girl. And it's featuring teas from around the world. England, France, Morocco, the Turkish, Jamaica, China. Baby girl, stop. Japan and India. So I am about to put on me a pot of tea. I think I'm going to do the, I'm actually going to go with the England tea, the English breakfast tea, and have that with my scripture reading for the morning. So I like to do the little scripture and a little inspirational meditation before I get my day started. And then I'm going to get into my workout. Then we'll get ready and hit the road so we can get on our way to work and impact the students. That's how I'm starting my day. How are you starting your day? Feel free to share in the comments. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, January 24th. Oh my gosh, y'all. It is so cold in the A. The A is on ice today, okay? Oh my gosh. I just got in the building. Lord, y'all, I've got my puffer on today. I've got my jean jacket on. Yes, your girl threw her scrubs on. I promise, it seems like y'all probably always see me in my scrubs. I promise I have real clothes. But, oh God, it's like, I feel like when I wear scrubs, I'm more likely to actually record. So I think it's if it's just comfort. But it's freezing in the A today. Oh my gosh. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. It's a great Tuesday. We're gonna speak it and claim it. All right. Be blessed. All right, I hope to record throughout the day. And get some footage in, y'all. Let's go for it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna record today. It's freezing. My fingers are freezing. Let me warm up, y'all. All right. Good afternoon, y'all. Does my face say it all? Does it say it all? Does it say it all? Because I'm ready to go home. It is 12:09 p.m. I have not picked up this camera. There was a math test that we really needed to get done today. We were rocking and rolling with science block today. So I haven't had the opportunity to get it done. But y'all, I'm just gonna sit here in silence. It's planning time, thank God. So I'm gonna recalibrate a bit. I just wanted to come on real quick because I already know I probably won't pick the camera back up again for the rest of the day. So the next time I vlog is going to be a little later in the week, possibly Friday. Just because it's just... This is all I have. This is all I can give you right now. It's all I can give you. We've had lunch. We're on planning. So we're on planning period. And right now, I'm about to get into emails, tie up any loose ends that I see. I know an email just rolled out about nominating your student for Reader of the Year award. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out an application for a student because I think, honor needs to go where honor is due. No matter how tired we get, we need to continue to extend honor where it's needed. So that's what I'm about to do. I've already solidified my lesson plans for this next week or this upcoming week. So if the application isn't lengthy, after I finish the application, I will just go ahead and actually like pull out my resources that I'm going to need for next week. Make sure I have any printed materials ready to go, any manipulatives ready to go. And if I do pull any of that out, if I get to that because the application is short, then I'll show you a bit of that. But right now, I'm just going to turn on some music or turn on a good podcast or a sermon, and I'm going to let it play while I recalibrate and continue working, because I'm telling you, once it's time for me to go home, not doing anything. Y'all, I've been really good. I do not work when I get home. I do not do any of this work when I get home. So I want to keep that going, and I think that's all because of me deciding and making that decision. Hey, we're going to work during contract hours. We're not going to not use our time wisely on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Not that I have. It's just that sometimes you have, people to come in and want to talk and all of that. And that's good and cool because, sometimes you need to be able to lean on each other. But some of those conversations, they just go way too long. So I've learned even if people come in, I continue working. I continue working unless I can hear and sense that they really need some emotional support at the time, or they're just trying to, if they're trying to collaborate, then I'm all for it because that doesn't slow me down. But talking 15, 20 minutes and I could be doing my work and it's really not about much. I'm learning to say, sis, let me go and do this work, because I'm not doing it at home. And it's really been paying off this school year. All right. I'll talk to y'all. Luego. Hasta luego. All right, quick update, y'all. So I just looked at the application for the student, Reading Student of the Year nomination, for the nomination process, and it requires the teacher to write a letter of recommendation, and it also requires the student to write an essay as well about their readership and why it's important, or why it means, basically why it's important to them, or what reading means to them, those type of things. So I realized I'm not going to even begin that process unless she actually wants to write an essay. I'm not going to force you to write an essay. I'm just not. It's not a required or mandatory nomination. It's just, hey, let's give honor if they, deserve it. Like, let's do it. And so I wanted to recognize her, but honestly, I could recognize her in the class. I could send a message to the announcement specialist or something. There's ways to do that school-wide. So I could recommend or suggest that we honor our students on the school level, whether we pass on nominations to the county level or not. But I was just thinking, and I said, let me share that, because it's like sometimes you have to decide what is important in the moment. Is it urgent? Is it important? What is the level of priority here? So I just thought about that. If she doesn't want to write an essay about it, I'm not going to even start a recommendation letter. I'm going to save myself some time, So with that being said, I am now going to go ahead and grade some essays that I am behind on. So that's opening up a window for me to go ahead and grade some essays. I've got about 20 minutes left on the clock. They're still in media. They're in Media Center this week. So I am now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and grade some essays, get caught up with that. And then when they return, it'll be our reading block. And so we're focusing on main idea this week. So I'm sure at some point this week, you'll see a reading lesson going forward. Hi, darlings. So I decided to go a whole nother way. Yes, that's what happens. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? No, let me go right. No, let me go left. Yeah, we're going to go with left. So now I have about 10 minutes on the clock. I'm going to utilize this time to actually do some anchor charts to prepare for next week. The students need some visuals, so I'm going to go ahead and work on some anchor charts. And then I'm going to trace anchor charts. I am not an artist by far. Let me grab the chart paper. I'm not an artist by far, so I trace to get the job done. That's what I do. And so next week we're going to be covering geometry. We're going to get into 2D and 3D shapes. So I am going to go ahead and get some material up for quadrilaterals. So I'm going to start by drawing these shapes. And you know, we love colors. So I'm gonna do some red and black. Red and black tends to stand out to them. So we're gonna go with that. And that's what I'm gonna do. And before I go and pick them up, I decided I needed to do something that requires me to be up more, because when they return and they get, you know, to go on with their task, I need to use that time to grade essays and stuff. You can sit at your computer and do, you know, the computer type things when the kids are in here, when you need to be moving around and all of that, or going to check out books and resources. You need to use planning time for that, because you won't have to sit here and monitor kids. I hope that didn't just confuse somebody. But yes, I figured I may as well do something that won't require me to be at my computer per se, because when they get in here, I'm going to have to be at my computer to monitor activity here and there. But, all right, so that's what I'm doing, okay? That's what I'm doing. Okay, let me turn off my sermon here. I was able to get started. Not a big jump, but you know what? It's okay. I've got my header ready, and I've got my first quadrilateral down. So that's something that I'm going to work on once I pick them up. It's time for me to pick them up from specials now. So it's 12:45 on the dot. So I'm going to go pick them up. I wasn't able to get a lot done, but I was able to get my thoughts together, which is productivity for me, because now I've made a plan and I know how I want to tackle my goals here now. Y'all, shout out to our schools. Hey, love. Shout out to our schools backdrop here for the media center. I love this thing. It says Camp Read S'more. I think that is so cute. Shout out to them on that. All right, so today for Reading Block, we are going to get into this story, which looks interesting to me. It's called The Good Garden by Katie Smith Milway, illustrated by Sylvie. I'm not going to try to say that last name because I'll chop it all the way up. Looks like a French name. All right, underneath the title, we see a little subtitle there, and it says How One Family Went from Hunger to Having Enough. Just by looking at the cover page here, or the picture on the cover page here, or just by reading the title, I need for someone to predict what they feel the story will be about. All right, let me start. I saw your hand first, Kai.
Okay, so I predict that in this story, it will be talking about this family. Now, it started as a poor life, and then began maybe start growing a garden, and now they're now living green.
Okay. I love that you brought in the concept of living green. We definitely talked about living green last week in a previous reading lesson, and we actually read a story about living green. So I love how you drew back to a previous lesson that we had actually covered. Great prediction. Andy?
I think the story is going to be about how a grandma or a garden actually like a woman and with 2 kids. I think it's going to be about like how they have a big old garden full of plants and different needs, because I think they're green living because they have a big old.
Okay, so I'm hearing that you all are now associating gardening with green living. So that's pretty cool. And great inferencing skills by using the photos. Last one, I need one more person to talk to me about the title. What do you think the title reveals to you? Even if you're looking at that subtitle there, what does the title, how can we use that text feature to help us predict what's going to happen in this story? Mac?
I think the title, the subtitle will help us predict what happens in the story because the title, The Good Garden, I think it means like it's like a nice garden. It doesn't have any harmful or bad things in it. And the subtitle, I think it means that like how the family wasn't like their crops and stuff were growing fast enough. Because they have like a drought and they're out of food.
Ooh.
Now that we have enough food and to be able to feed them and their family.
Come on, Mac. I love what you just said at the end just then. Okay, first of all, just in case you didn't hear her, because I know her volume was just a slight bit low, she talked about the title, right? She said, The Good Garden. So to her, hearing the word good helped her to see there's some good that's going to come out of this garden. That's one thing. And then she broke it down a little bit more by looking at the subtitle. She saw the subtitle read, How One Family Went From Hunger to Having Enough. And to her, she said, this subtitle pretty much suggests to her that maybe, and in the beginning, their crops were going through a drought. And maybe that's what led to the hunger. And then it says they went from hunger to having enough. So maybe the drought is going to end and they're going to end up with an abundance of not products, but crops, right? Produce. Everybody say, go ahead, Mac.
Go ahead, Mac.
Snap, snap, snaps. All right, let's go ahead. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope that you are feeling great. Hi, darlings. I am excited about this hump day. Our district actually had a 2-hour delay this morning, so I'm not going in at our regular school time. So it felt good to be able to just kind of take my time this morning and actually get in my full morning routine, or at least the preferred morning routine on school days. So that felt nice, and yes, I'm actually excited. I'm actually ready to take on the day. Let's seize the day. Carpe diem. That way. Am I ready to rhyme this morning? Right on time? I don't know. Let's get this sunshine in the midst of the rain. Hey yeah. I guess the rhyme stops there. All right, I'll talk to y'all when I get to the school. It's raining out this morning, but again, I'm feeling like a beam of sunshine today. So all right, let's get it. All right, y'all, I've made it inside the building. I tried to make sure my hair wasn't in a frenzy with the rain. I need to name my hair, right? You're supposed to name your fro, right? So, good morning. I don't know. I've got to think of a name. Let me ask one of my students. Mac, what should I name my hair? You know, everyone names their fro. Well, I feel like it's only respectful to name your fro. What should I name mine? Oh, maybe I should name it my TikTok name, Anna. Anna? Yeah. And that's what we're going with. I just named my fro. She is Anna. Y'all, if you follow me on TikTok, at Chelsea Brianna J, then I have this alter ego, and she goes by the name of Anna. And Anna is the character that she's just out of place, basically. She's just out of place. And this hair, sometimes it can get out of place. Beautiful, but out of place. Like sometimes it just won't do what you need it to do. And so I think Anna would actually be very befitting. So you've seen it first, right? You saw it here first. I just officially named my hair, and her name is Anna. She is Anna. All right. So Anywho, I just got into the building. Got my scarf situation going on here. Y'all, here's my OOTD. You really can't see it. Later on, maybe you'll be able to see. But I've got the plaid pants with the red and a little navy blue splash, a little classic white blouse, and then I've got my scarf for a cover up. All going in coordination with Anna here with the red. Celebrating all the redheads today out there. All right, my first student is here. She's getting situated, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking to my students, greeting them as they come in, because I honestly, truly feel like that's what sets the tone for your day, being able to create those bonds as soon as they walk in at the door. So here we go to creating bonds. Okay, y'all, so it is small group time for ELA block. Let me take my little pen off here. For ELA block, we're actually doing some discussion. We're actually doing a literature circle with the small group that I'm gonna do today. And we have this book here called The Broccoli Tapes by Jan Slepian or Slapian. So we've been getting into this lately, and they're just gonna go around and read firstly, like everyone. There are only 3 people here today with this group. They're gonna go, each are gonna read a page. We're gonna listen for reading fluency. Then after that, we're going to actually do a sketch activity. So I'm gonna explain that to them after the literature circle gets going for a bit. So I'll come back on and check in with y'all to let you know how that goes. All right, so the activity that I'm gonna have them to do is actually called the hold up activity. If I'm not mistaken, it is a total participation technique. If you're familiar with total participation techniques, then you're probably familiar with what I'm speaking of. But the students have taken these 4 corners, they've taken a sheet of paper, folded it into 4 parts. I'm gonna show you now what that looks like. All right, so right now I am just listening to my small group read. I want to check out how well they're pacing, their reading, how well they're pronouncing their words, enunciating those words. And after they finish, we're going to have a discussion about some of the events that happened in today's reading, and I'm going to ask them to pick out those vocabulary terms. All right, so I am reading on page 16. And again, you can choose a word from page 16 if you would like. It'll snap your head off soon as you look. Okay. False alarm. All right, here I go, y'all. I must say the language in here is very, not the language, but the dialects that they're using in this book. It can be very rural at times, so the dialect is a bit different. So sometimes you have to kind of reread it just to kind of make sense of it. So that may be something that you would need to share with your students before even approaching a book that contains dialect that we may not be used to, applying every day. All right, so page 16. It'll snap your head off soon as you look at you. Hey. Hi. All right, so I couldn't quite get that reading segment down like I wanted to because I had to stop and speak with a student about behavior. And unfortunately, that's just something, as teachers, that's just something that we have to deal with sometimes. And so there had to be a little conversation had about that. So here's the real world. I'm showing you the realness of it and all. But now, to end the lesson right now, this is, they're doing a total participation technique called Think, Pair, and Share. This is where they will think about what they learned today, whether it was during whole group or whether it was during small group for that subject area. And they're thinking about that, they're reflecting on that, then they're pairing up with any partner within the room. And that's the teacher's discretion, because you could have them to pair up with a partner from their small group, but they're pairing up with a partner from anywhere in the room, and then they're going to talk about that with their partner, talk about what they learned, talk about their reflection on today's lesson, what they gained from it, what they got a better understanding of, what was new about it, how they could relate to it from a personal perspective. And then in about 1 to 2 minutes, I'm going to stop them and I'm going to call on random pairs to share out. Okay, so that's the think, pair, share technique. Okay, say that one more time, Erica, because that was really good. I love what you and your partners talked about. Okay, what did you learn today? I'm gonna get closer, a little bit closer, because that was good. All right, sure.
Me and my partner Aubrey learned that anything can be hard, even garbage or trash, if you look at it in the right way or put a little color or life in it.
Wow, anything can be art. It's just about the perspective that you're applying to it. That reminds me of the quote, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." And I believe someone in this classroom had to deal with that quote today. So maybe they'll share out how that connects to your findings as well. Oh my goodness, I loved it. I love it. I love it. Good morning. Happy Thursday, January 26th. I had to look back at the board, y'all, because I really get my days mixed up these days. But right now we are technically in science block. It's 8:32. We have about 8 more minutes left for science block. The students are working on their notebooks, making sure that they have everything ready to go for tomorrow's notebook check. They are expected to have things like the vocabulary terms, the meanings of those vocabulary words, illustrations to accompany those vocabulary words, or just their notes in general. They're learning about physical and chemical changes, so they're making sure that they list attributes of each type of change, or the properties of each type of change, as well as examples of both physical and chemical changes. I'm very pleased with how they're performing right now, especially after I had to drop a big bomb on them this morning. We found out that we would be having to actually collapse a 5th grade class, and when a 5th grade class collapses, that means that they have to spread out to the other 5th grade classes. So we're going from 5 5th grade teachers to 4 5th grade teachers. So now that's going to push us to have about 30 kids to a class. My students were actually more receptive than I expected. They had their questions really quickly. I covered those questions. I assured them that, hey, Miss Johnson is not going to change. I'm still going to love y'all just as much. We still going to learn the same way that we learn. We're going to flow the way that we flow. And I think that that's very important for your students to know, because, you know, at this point of the year, you hopefully have built connections, strong connections with your students, and they need to know that they will always matter, no matter who comes and no matter who goes. So I love that they were able to receive that announcement or news with an open heart. And so now that we've covered that house business, and also y'all, the new students don't come in until next Monday. It's Thursday, but I wanted to let them have a moment to actually process mentally what that would look like for them. You know what I mean? Because if I think about myself, if I had a major change to shift like that in a learning environment, I would hate to walk in and no one warned me. I would probably be frazzled brain. So you have to kind of put yourself in the shoes of your students as well, because they're human beings at the end of the day. So I think that that's very important, to show that type of respect as well. That's how you earn respect as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have good relationships with my students, thank God. And I think that's because I treat them as decent, respectable human beings first. So right now, as they work on their science notes, I am working on alphabetizing my F&P folders, because it's that time of the year where audits are going to start taking place, and I need to make sure that I have a student for every folder. I need to make sure that I have their correct data in place, ready to go. So I'm going to alphabetize that way whenever audits occur, I'll be prepared no matter when it takes place. I won't have to worry, because my stuff will be handled. My business is ready, right? So I hope that you are having a thankful Thursday, a terrific Thursday, and all of the above. I'm excited because we're one day closer to Friday, which means I'm that much closer to the weekend, which means I get to refresh all over again. And we're that much closer to our next school break, which I think Our winter break is in February, I believe. So I'm trying to look at the positive here. And better, even more than that, we have about 10 more weeks until our spring break. So after this week, it'll be 9 weeks. I love it. I'm trying to think of all of the positive things. And I'm hoping this morning that you are feeling so much gratitude for all of the things that are going on in your life and in your classroom, and make the most of it. Like, that's just where we are. We're at that point in the school year where we only have about 3 more years, at least in the South, right? I teach in Georgia, so in the South we have about 3 more school months, and I'm just ready at this point to make the best of it. That's what it is, and I'm wishing you all of the same vibes, darlings. Happy Saturday, darlings. It's your girl Chelsea Brianna J, aka Learning with Jazzy J. It is a Saturday, and I am still working, not teaching, but I'm working. I like to dash on the weekends. I don't know. One of my goals this year is to get closer to being a millionaire. So we're gonna use all of our gifts, right? And one of my gifts is being able to provide great customer service. So I'm gonna use that while dashing. And yes, I've got my mask on, ready to go. I've got my Dasher bag up front with me, got my sanitizer, got my Lysol wipes. So I'm ready to go. I haven't done my first order yet. I just left the house, so I'm on my way to the busy areas, and then we're just gonna take it from there. All right, I'll catch back up with y'all. Y'all, I'm on my dash route still. Look what y'all, this horse and this real man on this horse just rode by me. They just crossed my path, and I'm thinking, is this horse gonna kick my car? That was so crazy. The things you see. Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome back. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, January 31st. The video should be going up today, so hope your day is going well. I think the last time I spoke to y'all, I was actually showing you the horse that was just randomly on the roadway while I was out dashing, doing my second job. Y'all, I got so many jobs. But while I was door dashing this past weekend, I showed you a little highlight of the horse just appearing on this highway. I wanted to make sure that I closed out the vlog because I want to get better at closing out my vlogs. I need a real outro, right? So here's the outro. Even though I may get started with recording some more footage for the next vlog that's coming out, either way, I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and go darlings.